everybody, and welcome to the Biggles Breakdown. My name is Biggles. I'm your host of the show. Usually, I have a guest with me today, but we had to push back the Yu-Gi-Oh one a little bit, and now I see something wrong with my camera right here, and it's annoying the shit out of me, and I can't focus. Yeah, okay, I fixed it. It's gone. It's done. No, it's back. It's because I fucking tripped over my green screen. Fuck. Because Biggles is very uncoordinated unless on a field of some sort. Oh, look, now I'm disappearing. What the sorry, guys. I'm super unprofessional today and I disappeared. Okay, I'm losing my damn mind. No. You know what? I'm going to fix this problem real quick. Fixing the problem. This is very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. Don't worry, guys. I'm naked behind the screen. All right. So, after being extremely unprofessional, I just changed shirts. All right. So after being extremely unprofessional, usually I have a guest with me, but we had to push the Yu-Gi-Oh stream back 2 weeks. So I had no subject, and I was like, you know what? I've been playing a lot of Danmachi. Is it wrong to try to pick up a girl in a dungeon? On the channel with the phone game. So I was like, you know what? The spin-off that talks about the Loki Familia is only one season long, 12 episodes. I can watch it in a day and we can redo it. So we're still talking about things I like because I do like this. Mainly because of Tione and Tiona. Mainly because of them. They are the best, you know. The twins right here. These two. So I want to talk about Sword Oratoria. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in the dungeon on the side? It is the spinoff. It focused on the Loki Familia. So this is taking place during season 1 of Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girl in the Dungeon? Now, there are some scenes that are the same here that are the same in Danmachi. I'm just going to use the short name for it. Except instead of getting Belle's thoughts and perspective on the situation, you get Iz's right there. Iz's perspective of it. So you get season 3 and season 4 level fights in this show because they start off on a floor that Belle still hasn't reached in season 4. So these are all like level, well, except for Lafayette, or Lafia. Most of them are level 5 and 6. So behind me, I got Gareth and Finn, who's the captain. So we have these characters that you meet in the other show, but it's their storyline going on the same time. Now, you learn about the shit that happens to Belle is the fault of someone he meets in season 3. So Belle meets this person later, but Loki, the goddess of this familia, interacts with him in the first couple of episodes. So it's really cool to get the second perspective, like a different perspective. Like I would love one of the Freya familia because they're the ones doing all the fucked up shit. And you kind of know about it in Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon? But in this one, you really know about it because you get like I's perspective, and like she realizes right away that they're the Freya Familia, and you get a Trill, King of Trill, the highest level adventurer in all of Orario. And it's so cool and so like different from the original of this that we have been playing the game on the channel. So I really like the difference, and I do really like some of the Loki Familia characters. You don't get as much from them in the original, and you take a character like Eyes, who in the original she's just kind of there and like, oh, it's the love interest of Belle, but you realize that in this she has all these problems that she's dealing with. The reason why she does the things she does, and she becomes like from a slightly above average character to a great character in this, because she gets more time to develop as the main character. And Lafia right next to her is also one of the main characters who is kind of annoying. But these two right here, Tiona and Tione, the twins, they are awesome. Tiona is the smaller chested one, and Tione is the bigger chested one. That's the easiest way I can describe it. And Tiona has like boob envy, and it's very common in the show, and it's a running gag throughout the entire show that she even does boob exercises to try to make her boobs bigger. And then Loki is a pervert. She just tries to grab everyone's boobs, and she's obsessed with boobs, maybe even more than I am. So yeah, Loki, she loves her boobs. But this is all about the Loki Familia. There's 12 episodes in this so far. It only takes place in season 1. There's a manga of it. Part of me wants to get the manga for this because the Loki Familia is kind of cooler than the Hestia Familia as far as like character wise, other than with the exception of Wealth, who's like the coolest fucking dude ever. And you get the story of what's going on. So in Damachi or Damachi, the original one, you have the story of Bell as he goes on and meets an adventurer. And in episode 1, he gets saved by Eyes, and he gets covered in blood that Bet, this dude right here, the werewolf, calls him Tomato Guy. And to me, it's really fucking hilarious. And Bet's fucking badass, and you get to see how badass he actually is in this. And he's just like, he's kind of lazy, and he's like, no, I don't want to do anything. And then Loki's like, no, I need you to do this for me. And he's like, okay. And he goes. And then you see that like he becomes like super protective. You actually see that in season 2 at one point, or is it the end of season 1 with the war game, or whenever the war games are. I think that might be the end of season 1 or the beginning of season 2, where like Bet's like, he like scares off the Apollo dudes to not fight with like Bell. And I don't think he like makes fun of Bell a lot, but he realizes that Bell is not as pathetic as he originally thought when he takes down the Minotaur, which is near like 3 episodes to the end or something in this one. And you get to see like the change of his character, because it doesn't really make sense in the original, but now that you like he talks about it and stuff, it makes sense. So in this, what's going on in this, we have the Loki Familia. They meet with Uranus, who we meet in season 3, I believe. He's the main guy behind the guild. He has Fells with him, who's the guy in the black robe with the, I think he's a skeleton, if I remember right. I have to rewatch the original, but I think Fells is a skeleton who used to be a mage. And they are trying to deal with this problem of these new creatures that were kind of unleashed during Monsterphilia, which is a big event where they take monsters from the dungeon and they fight in like a coliseum for it. And they escape and they kill them, and they find out that there's this new magic crystal, which is like the heart of the monsters inside the dungeon. And they try to figure out what this is. So throughout this entire story, they're going through the dungeon trying to figure this out. And a guy gets killed by this redhead that he has in bed. She like chokes him to death, and then she like rips off his face and wears it as a mask, so people can't recognize her. And she is kind of the bad guy of the story in this, and she has a partner who is in like maybe 2 episodes. And then there is a spirit at the end that they have to fight that thinks Eyes is her mother, because they have the same wind power, same wind attribute power. So usually by now I would like talk about what my favorite episode is. So my favorite episode of this would be season 4. Now, the reason why I like, or not season 4, episode 4, the reason why I like episode 4 is it's got a lot of Bet. And Bet is one of my favorite characters in the Loki Familia. Like I said, he is the werewolf guy. You get some other stuff with Eyes going on in the story and Lufia, and then you get some of I think Eyes is looking for the murderer with Riveria, Garrett, Finn. Finn's the little prum, which is like a halfling. He's right here. I put up my hand, I block him. He's so small. And then Tiona and Tione go with them. And no, it's not Ords. It's Orbs, something like that. Boars. It's Boars. His name is Boars, not Ords. It's almost spelled the same. Boars. He's the dude with the eye patch that's not in the picture. He's like, well, it was a woman, and he would have to be, or she would have to be able to seduce him. And then they look at Tiona, and they're like, oh, no, it can't be her. She's flat, right? And she's like, I'm going to kill you, right? And then they were like, oh, maybe it's one of these girls. And then they get to Tione, who's like in the back, and they're like, she can definitely do it. And she's like, oh, I'm saving myself for the captain, blah, 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 who's Finn, the really short dude. And Finn just makes the joke, and this is probably one of my favorite lines of the thing. He's like, as you can see, clearly none of these women can seduce the opposite sex. Like they lack the skills to seduce the opposite sex because they're all like vulgar and unladylike. They have no social skills. But it's a real fun episode. You get Bet uses a magic weapon on his shoes, which absorbs powers, and then he just like kick the shit out of this plant thing. You meet Dionysus, who's like another god that you only see for a second in like the original, but you get a lot of him, and the little screen time he does stand out a lot. I like him. And then he has, I think her name is Phyllis, is the other one that she's with. I don't know. I think it's Phyllis. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's Phyllis. Phyllis. Phil. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So we're going through this, and it's just a fun episode because like Loki's like, no, give me a piggyback ride. I don't want to get my shoes dirty. And because he's a wolf, he has this great sense of smell. And he's like, I smell humans down here. Loki, get off. So Loki has to like end up getting her shoes wet, as which she did not want and she hates. So they go in and he fights the guys, and then he comes out, and Dionysus sees Loki and starts to talk to him, and Bet's like, don't trust these guys. This is the smell from them. So he finds out that, and then they go and talk, and then they find out that Uranus is behind it, and they go and talk to Uranus, not Ganesha, because they're like, it's Ganesha's thing, and they're like, no, it's Uranus, and they find a bunch of shit out in this episode, and it sets up so much that it's my favorite episode of the season. Now, for characters, I really like the twins and Bet the most out of all of them. But you really find out that Finn, the little guy, is a fucking badass. And he's by far the strongest out of all of them. And it's real cool to see. The characters are a lot of fun in here. The fact that the story is so different from the other one, but ties in very well with the other one, is great. I love it. So usually I try to do these an hour, and I let my guests do the talking of what they like about it as well, because I get to like gain off their energy and say, this is awesome. I like that too. Or something like it meshes well, and I get to get more excited, and I get to go on and add little things that I missed that they got. So let's just jump into the tier list. I know I only been talking for 17 minutes about the show, but I think I want to go into the characters. Zay Biggles is live. Yes, open airlock policy. I am live. It is good to see you, my friend. For some reason, there we go. There we go. It's up. Now, usually I have someone on here, but we were going to have like a big panel today for Yu-Gi-Oh, but we had to push it back a couple weeks because Maz's leaves in the morning. I think Lethal has to go get him. Yes, please hit the like button. We are currently at 5 likes, which is nice because we only have 3 viewers right now. So I'm going to jump into the tier list. And the reason why I'm jumping into the tier list now is I don't have anybody to bounce stuff off of. So I talked about all the stuff I can think of. And I don't actually have merch for this. I do. Malty. Thank you. I do, and welcome. I do have, or I did find a Hestia Nettaloid. I think that's what they're called. They're like the better versions of like Funko Pops and not as creepy. But I couldn't justify it until I get paid on Friday, and I'm hoping it's still there because they don't make it anymore. So I might have that soon. So I'm jumping into the tier list. We want the big tier list. There we go. And we're going to start with the main character. I once bought Yugi for an ex-girlfriend's kid, like in 2008 for Christmas. That's all I got. That's all you got? Well, that's all you need, man. And 2008 probably had a good starter deck, if I remember right. That was my senior year in high school, and I was still playing it. So we're going to start with Eyes Wallenstein, or Eyes What's It Who's It, or What's It Floozy, or what's another name Hestia calls her? I don't know. She doesn't call her any names in this. All right, so we got Eyes Wallenstein becomes a level 6 during this show. She was a level 5, which is just like power levels, and the more levels you increase, the more strength you have. So it's like an RPG because it's like a RPG kind of world. But Eyes in the regular one is probably like a B, but she's so fleshed out in this. You find out that she has a backstory about her mother. The reason why she's trying to be the strongest there is because her father was really strong and she wants to be like her father. She found out, or she decides to train Belle, which you're not sure why she does it in the other one. She just does. And she's trying to figure out how he gains the insane levels of strength that he has as quick as he does, because he has a skill that increases his strength whenever he's like trying to chase someone, basically like a bond between the person. So as long as Eyes is getting stronger, he's going to get stronger. So Eyes was trying to figure that out, so she helps him out. But she also tries to help Lafia try to get stronger. So I think in this, she's probably S rank character in this show, in this spin-off. But if it's the regular one, I think she's a B. And this one just gives her so much more character development, so much more depth, that like her little like stoic attitude doesn't ruin it. So then we have how do I say this name? A Phyllis Automata, Andromeda, SV Al I Andromeda. So she's only in like 3 episodes in this. I would say she's a stronger character in the main one than she is in this one. She is part of the Hermes familia, so she's, unlike the others, is not in the Loki familia. She helps, or Eyes helps her and her familia try to investigate what's going on with the monsters. She's not as good as normal one, so I would say in this one she's a C. Compared to like in the normal one, she's either a B or a very low A. I do really like her as a character, though. Overall, when you put the two together, she's probably an A. Then we have Bet, who is my favorite. He is the werewolf. He is pretty badass. You get a lot of him in this, other than just like kind of in the main story, he's just a bully to Belle, kind of. Calls him Tomato Guy because he got blood splattered all over him and then ran away like a chicken after Eyes saved his life in the first episode. So you see that he's like a protector. He wants to be in the front of the fight. He is one of the main guys that goes in to fight for the Loki familia. And when he doesn't go out with all of them, he's usually being pulled as a personal escort for Loki. Now, although he is my favorite character, there is a lot better characters than he is in this. So I would put him as an A character rather than an S. Now, this is Dionysus, who is one of the gods in here. He gets maybe like 10, 15 minutes tops. So he probably has very little screen time on here. But from when he is on, he carries himself very well. He cares a lot about Phyllis. He's scheming and smart like Hermes, and then he leads Loki to the right direction. He helps out Loki's familia in trying to figure out what's going on the 24th floor. I think he's a really good character for the little time he has in this. you maybe get like one sentence from him and maybe like 10 seconds of screen time in the original one. But in this, he is important and he has like a good story kind of going on with him. So I really like him in this compared to otherwise. So this is Phyllis. So she is one of the only survivors of the event that they talk about in season 4 of the original. What they say in this, it's just everybody was was killed by Evilis. Evilis set a trap and had them all killed. Now, if she survived, Ryu is also another one of the survivors, and I don't think you see Ryu at all in this. You might see like her face for a second when it shows Lafia walking down a hallway, but I think it's Belle, Seer, and the cat girl. But Phyllis is very like quiet, introverted. She helps Lafia a lot, who is like the other main character in this. The two main characters are Lafia and Eyes. She helps Lafia learn her chanting and says, "Stop doing counterattacks. You should focus on like doing the main attacks where you already have them set up. This will allow you to actually be ready and not get messed up." I would say she's a B. She's above average on this. I like her a lot in this. So we have Finn now. Now Finn, he's a Prum, which I think is like a halfling or a hobbit, because he's very short. Lily, who you only see like dying in this one, and is also a Prum. So Finn is the captain. Tione is obsessed with him. All the girls love him, apparently. In the episode where they're like, "We'll have to search the guys and the girls," and all the girls were like, "Ooh, Finn, you can search me." And then Tione starts kicking the shit out of everybody because that's in episode 5 too. That's another reason why I love episode 5. So Finn is the brains. He has a fight with Revis on here, and he's like, "Oh, she broke my thumb," and like he's like, "You're pretty cocky," like, and like he's kicking her butt, and he's a total badass. I have to put him S rank. He's also the strongest in the Familia as well. Gareth. Gareth is a dwarf. He's another level 6. So they have 4 level 6 once Eyes hits level 6. Gareth is like the tank, and then he's also like a warrior, like DPS kind of guy later on. He's very stubborn. He doesn't let it he doesn't let himself be beat, especially in that last couple episodes where he's fighting and protecting everybody while fighting. He's pretty good. I would say he is top of B. He has a lot of arguments with the elf because he is a dwarf. So he's got that rivalry with the elves, which makes it kind of fun. Now Hermes, I don't know why I put Hermes on here. I think I was going to put what was her name? So one of the people from his Familia. But Hermes is all. I think Hermes is only in a little bit of this, um, and basically he's like his scheming self, and he sets something up. Um, but I'm going to put him right next to Andromeda, is the leader of his familia. All right, now we have Lafayette, who is the second main character. She's like obsessed with eyes, uh, obsessed with her, and it gets really fucking annoying. And she's like, "Oh, Miss Eyes, Jamie, Jamie, Jamie." Like, what would happen if she like? But once she meets Phyllis, she kind of gets a little bit more likable. Um, she has insane power and comes in clutch at the very end, and probably saves everybody. So just because of that, I can't make her the worst person. But she's definitely a C. If she didn't have that big clutch moment at the end, I would put her as a D. She's just very fucking annoying. And she's like, "Oh, why is he with that stupid? Why is she training that stupid human? She should be training me. Why is he? She can't like. She's just like annoying and jealous. That the episode is called "Training and Jealousy," and it just like shows how Wolfia is just like, ugh. But she does have some cool stuff. Like in the beginning, Eyes is having like a really rough time because she hasn't reached level 6 yet. And Ophia does stuff to help her out and tries to cheer her up. So that is kind of cool. But she's just not a fun character. Now, we have Loki. She's obsessed with boobs. Um, she she's kind of a pervert and like tries to grab everybody's boobs. And like Eyes is like, if you try anything, I'll cut you, which makes Eyes even funnier and awesome in this that you don't get in the original for Eyes. So we have Loki. You don't get her fighting with Hestia, which was a lot of fun, like interaction wise. But you see that she's like smart, and that's why they have like this good. What am I saying? That's why they have the second strongest familia out of everyone. Uh, so I'm going to put her at B. Uh, there's probably more I could say about Loki, but she's not like A or S tier, so I don't know. What up, gaming? How are you, gaming? Now we have Revis. Revis is the villain of the story, kind of. So Revis died, and then they like revived her and put like a magic stone in her, which she now has to eat like other playing Star Wars Knights too, like Knights of the Old Republic too. So Revis is like the bad guy. She has to eat like magical stones, so she has to like kill and eat other monsters to regain power. She's the one I talked about earlier who murdered that guy by seducing him and then choking him and then ripping off his face and like wearing it as a mask. Um, she's constantly calling Eyes Arya, which is Eyes' mother, so like causing mother issues for or mommy issues for Eyes. She's just and she kicks ass and she like talks shit to Finn and like breaks his thumb and like Finn can beat most people in this world. So there's a lot of cool stuff from her. I would say she is an S rank villain. Um, now we have Riveria, who is kind of like the mom to the Familia. She even puts Loki in her place. She's constantly trying to help Lafia get uh, get an understanding of her magic. She helps eyes like try to like understand, and she's like the exposition of the thing. I would say she is low A, uh, low A maybe. And the funny thing is, hold on, I think the funny thing is this picture is like almost the same exact one, but it's like a little cut off, so it would be like that. But that's just something I just noticed right now. So we have Tiona, who is the flat-chested one who has serious boob envy and wishes she had bigger boobs and like spies on Lafia while she's in the shower because she's like trying to check out her boobs because they thought she said they were getting smaller because Loki was making a joke that they were getting smaller. So she's like, oh no, they're the same size as they were. So like she does boob exercises to try to make her boobs bigger. She's the one who calls Bell Mr. Argonaut in the original one, and she doesn't talk about it at all. But like after seeing him kill the Minotaur, she got like super hyped. She uses like this big ass like two-handed weapon, like double blade. And then like later on she uses them double-handed. She also fights bare-handed a lot and kicks a lot of ass. I would say she is right next to Bet. And then we have Tione, who is obsessed with Finn, fights with like two daggers or her hands. You'll see her like grabbing and ripping apart like some of the bad guys. She gets like pissed off and like becomes even stronger, kind of like the Hulk, but she doesn't like turn green or anything. She threatens people a lot. There's one part where the girls were like, "Oh, Finn, you can check me," and she like starts kicking and fighting the girls. It's fucking hilarious. And she's a complete and utter badass. I would say she's up in the S rank. So that is my tier list for Sword of Orario. Is it wrong to try to pick up a girl in the dungeon? On the side is the full name of the show that we are breaking down today. There might be a little bit more that I want to talk about. So the last couple of episodes, you do get Bell and Eyes going in, talking and training. And I think it's really cool. I know I've said this before, but I think it's really cool how they'll give you the same exact scene from the other anime into this one, but you get Eyes' perspective from all of it rather than Bell's. So you get the same exact story, but from a different point of view, and then what's going on throughout. So if you haven't seen Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up a Girl in the Dungeon, and you want to see if you like the show, this is only 12 episodes, and you get better fights early on. So I would say check it out. It's on High Dive. If you have $4 a month to spend, High Dive is like $4 a month or $5 a month. So it's way cheaper than any other streaming service. Not sponsored, but if you want to watch on High Dive, that's where it is. I recommend it. I'm going to rewatch the whole Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up a Girl in the Dungeon, and then I'll probably do a Biggles breakdown on that in like a month or so. There is like 114 episodes or something like that in the main one. So check out this if you want to see if you'll like this. The mobile game that I've been playing like crazy is a lot of fun for a gacha game. It does have some fun mechanics to it. You're like running around fighting. So other than getting the gotcha, it's a fun game. This is a fun show. Check it out if you haven't already. That is all I have for the show. Sorry it didn't go a full hour. Usually I have a partner, but I had to do this kind of last minute because we had to move stuff back so we can have our Yu-Gi-Oh show. Next week, Game is going to check it out. Yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun. And if you're ready to join the Familia on the gaming, let me know. I can get you that info in the Discord or whatever. So that is all I have. Next week, I am talking Full Metal Alchemist with Kai. Kai makes fun stuff. So Kai told me I had to watch this show, and I held off on watching it for the longest time, and then I watched it, and I love it. So next week, come watch me and Kai talk about watch me and Kai break down, because this is the Biggles breakdown, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I will see all of you next time.
Biggles is here. Hi, says I could be a hooker. Biggles, will your hooker name be Bagels? Mine would be cream cheese. That's my stripper name.